Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a fairly quick one as I am doing the last page in my sketchbook. I kind of went back and forth on whether or not I wanted to actually record this session because I wanted to finish this sketchbook like as fast as possible. I'm not very fond of it. Here are some preliminary sketches for the actual page so we can have a little bit of planning, but I honestly didn't spend too much time planning because I really didn't want to work on the last page at all. So yeah, I like to usually match it with the front page in terms of aesthetic and usually the character. And this time, because it is Akemi on the front, who is my OC, I am doing Akemi on the last page as well. So just to talk about the sketchbook a little bit, it is technically a notebook. I did make the design myself and I placed an order through Vograce to help get it made. And it is a notebook, meaning it has much thinner paper. It does have blank pages, but you can have options to get like dots or grids or lines, but I decided to get the blank version just to test it out. And I like the paper. I know it's a lot thinner and a little bit more warmer in color compared to some other sketchbooks. But I don't mind thinner paper or like cheaper paper or whatever you want to call it. It's really smooth. I really like it. This is kind of like personal preference. But let's talk about the drawing process a little bit because like I mentioned, I was kind of dreading doing this page and I kind of also regret choosing the materials that I did choose. So instead of using gouache, like my first page that I did in the sketchbook, I decided to go with alcohol markers, and in my brain, this wasn't a bad idea. The part that went wrong is that there was no way for me to fully test this out without like botching up the page or something to test out whether or not how well these colors and markers blend on the paper itself. So yeah, it's much more patchier and very hard to blend on this paper for whatever reason. So I've tried the Ohuhu markers. I'm using the Ohuhu markers, by the way, and I had no issues blending on the notebook paper itself or the sketchbook paper. I had no problems on cardstock or Bristol board. It was able to blend quite smoothly and it was easy to layer and for the most part get a bit more of a even application. But this paper, whatever this paper is, I feel like it's similar to like manila tag-ish kind of paper. So it was kind of struggling. So you can see that the background looks very patchy. And when I get to his hair, we're gonna see the struggle of me getting a nice gradation from like the forehead to the crown of his head. Because usually if the character has bangs or a fringe or any hair that like frames the face, I like to kind of bleed the skin tone into the hair just to make it softer around the face. But this one, yeah, it was kind of a struggle, which kind of expected not to like this page anyways, but it did make me a little frustrated that it turned out a little bit worse than I was expecting. But you know, that's okay. It's a way for me to end this and just peacefully let it rest, I guess. So I did say that I was drawing my OC Akemi, and I was kind of thinking because I did do preliminary sketches on the back page, and I have one of him like saluting. It's like kind of on the back of the manila tag kind of paper, and the reason why I made him salute is I think I said he's like ready to be sacrificed because of the ink bleed through or something. Let me see what I wrote. Ready for the bleed through is what I wrote, and on the top I said this page shall be sacrificed for ink. Yeah, I already knew there was gonna be a lot of ink bleed through, and I wasn't gonna like miss the doodle that I was gonna draw on the back because I knew I wasn't gonna be too precious with it. But as I was drawing his hair, I think I realized I kind of want to ruffle his hair a little bit. Maybe I don't want it to be as round as I drew it, and maybe it might be better for me to kind of even out his bangs, if that makes sense. I had it initially as like a straight cut. There's like a character in Tears of Themis, I think his name is Vincent, and he is like the assistant to Marius, and I really like his hair. It's kind of cute. It kind of reminds me of Ignatz, and I just realized like maybe I like characters with choppier bangs that has more of a like longer backside. I don't remember if Vincent does, but I know that Ignatz kind of has a, not like a maybe it's kind of like a mullet, and he kind of has like choppier bangs. And I drew Ignots like a lot. I'm talking about Ignots from like Fire Emblem, Three Houses. And I thought I maybe wanted an OC with that similar kind of hair, just because Koji and Masaki's hairstyles are kind of similar in a sense, just kind of flipped. Sato also has a lot of hair covering and framing her face, so I thought it'd be nice to switch it up and change Akemi's hair to be like quite different from how I usually draw their hair. But I noticed myself defaulting on wanting to floof his hair a little bit, make the bangs not as straight cut. So I might sweep them to the side just a bit. I might keep everything else the same, but I might sweep it to the side and just add a tad bit of texture to the top and or the sides, so it becomes a little less like dome shaped, if that makes sense. I'm just literally talking about nothing as this video is going by. But you can see that I was trying to fix the volume of his hair every time when I was using this marker, and I was not able to get a smooth gradient for his bangs, which is why it looks really kind of like choppy and a little bit more like brush strokes kind of look towards the face, which I didn't really like. I tried my best to blend it out as much as I could by filling it in a little bit more, but you can still see it's very evident, and it's kind of like a harsh band on where I was trying to blend. And I think if you watched one of my previous videos, or actually just the one video I think, because I didn't post the other one, where I was testing these markers in the first place, I used 2 different papers, and they blended really nicely, like almost seamlessly. And I don't think it's because I used too dark of a color into transition, because I did use 3 colors there, and I don't know. It's just that I feel like this is a good way for me to end the sketchbook. I am ready to move on from the sketchbook and just redo it. I don't know if it's just the vibe of everything or just the way I've been treating it. It's just not been a very fun experience for me. I think it's also because maybe I was trying to push too much of making it look aesthetically pleasing. I personally think like my graphite drawings are more or less the spreads I like the most, and in my opinion look the most pleasing, but I keep pushing to add color or wanting to paint, and I think that's like making me more frustrated, because adding color sometimes or adding line work after kind of changes the vibe of the sketch, or just my confidence goes down with it. Maybe it's because of lack of practice, but yeah, I can never go wrong with graphite. I'm even looking at some of the sketches in my sketchbook right now, because I did a lot of sketches of Sunny Briscoe, who is from Niji Sanji En, part of Noctix, and I used to struggle drawing him a lot, but I actually had a lot of fun drawing him in my sketchbook. And I did a lot of like pop of color with pencil crayon, and then I did most of it with graphite, because he has a lot of black in his outfit. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. I think I talk about certain drawings a little bit more in the actual sketchbook tour. I also forgot how many pages is in this particular sketchbook. I'll mention it in the tour video, but it's a lot more than what I remember. I think I had a similar issue with the sketchbook prior to this, because they had the same amount of page count, and previous ones I think maybe only had like 80 pages, so like 40 pages front and back to get 80. So I think I'm more used to that. I think this one's closer to 100 and something pages, which is, for me, it feels like a lot. And I'm hoping it's 100 pages like front and back, not 100 pages, and that's only including like the one side, because if this is 200 pages I will lose my mind. Yeah, I'm just glad the sketchbook's gonna be over. I'm glad a lot of you guys enjoyed the sketchbook doodling sessions. Yeah, it just makes me motivated to actually sketch in my sketchbook every Monday if I can. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Also for the illustration today, I am also doing the line work with the Magic Fly markers, just because I wanted a softer line work. But I think you'll see very soon enough that I kind of give up on the line work a little bit by botching up his eyes, because I didn't get the eye shape correctly on the one eye, and now he looks a little cross-eyed. Yeah, I think that's about it. Can you guys tell I'm defeated right now? I hope that's not the case. Hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. I know I'm gonna be running errands, I think, today, so there won't be a stream if you're seeing this, but also on Thursday there will not be a stream because I think I'm gonna dedicate Wednesday and Thursday to playing Pokemon since my game is coming on Tuesday. The stupid pre-order delayed for like 4 days, but that's okay. But I want to spend some time playing that and maybe taking a break a little bit to actually play games rather than drawing for too many hours, just scrap footage and stuff. So yeah, and I think on Saturday I'll talk a little bit more, if not Wednesday, we'll see, because if I upload the tour video on Wednesday, Saturday's video I'll talk about it. But I did upgrade my iPad. Some people know about it, but yeah, it won't be too alarming. It's mostly for the space anyways, so yeah, I'll talk about that in a later video so I can tell you guys about why I chose to pick the iPad that I chose and why I didn't choose other ones over this one. So what else did I need to talk about? Another reason why I don't like this one, I don't know if this is gonna come off too much of a negative video, but I don't know if it's because I was in a bad mood sketching it. I made his shoulders very thin looking, so his head looks huge and his arm ends at a weird length because I made his shoulders look also very short, so it makes his torso look very small or his arm too short. So yeah, anatomical errors here. This page just is not great, but I feel like I needed to show you guys this because I usually show you guys the last page of the sketchbook, and that's why I'm kind of debating whether or not Wednesday's video is going to be the tour, or I'll push the video for next Monday, so it gives me time to plan out the start of the new sketchbook's first page. And I think I'm going to draw Wonu for that. I think I alternate kind of between doing Wonu and like an OC, and then Wonu, then an OC. It just keeps my brain not tired of the sketchbook too much. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it's very rambly and Akemi looks a little weird, but here's the front, just to match it with the one on the back. I just couldn't bring myself to do more stars like with the actual proper like glittery watercolor gouache I have. But yeah, let's tuck these in. I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully maybe the sketchbook tour, if not just normal Wednesday video. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!